Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Golden Shovel podcast. This is a brand new weekly episodic series dropping every Saturday morning in the UK called the Saturday Squash. Two of us are going to present and debate a WWE themed topic, mostly nostalgic, looking back on our 20 plus years as wrestling fans, or in the case of Ross, 20 plus days. And basically what's going to happen is that two of us are going to debate and present, third one's going to mediate, pick a winner, and then that person's going to be the weekly Saturday Squash Golden Shovel champion and see how long they can hold the title for. Well, let's get in it. This week, for the first time ever, Daz and I are going to present and debate, and Ross is going to mediate because he's a dirty casual.
You know it.
Daz, this was your suggestion. You want to explain the topic and the theme?
Yes, we kind of buffed this by accident. Running our two-man pod together, we spoke about Seth Rollins' finishers, something that you and I chatted about in the Discord earlier that week. We spoke about it on the show. We could have done a 2-hour podcast on that alone. And I threw it out to you last week that next week I'd like to run our top 3 non-Big 4 premium live events / pay-per-views back in the day. I'm not going to pile in. It's been said twice in the first minute and a half of this recording. Ross, unfortunately, doesn't have the experience under his belt to give anything of real value.
I do not.
I believe
in life, or in the podcast.
I believe his suggestions was Fastlane, Capital Punishment, and Great Balls of Fire. So he, unfortunately, is suspended immediately, pending investigation.
Bloodblock was also mentioned.
That was the honourable mention. So basically, as Saunders says, the format for this is Ross is going to mediate. Saunders and I will go show for show for third place. Ross can pick what show he thinks he would have preferred to have watched and which one sounds like a better watch. Saunders and I will ultimately, one of us will be very unhappy at the end when someone is crowned the new Saturday Squash champion until next week when we run it back again. So we're going to kick off with honourable mentions. Ross, who would you like to hear from first?
I think I would like to hear, because it was your idea, I would like to hear your honourable mention, Darren.
Okay, not a problem. So I went back and forward because the 4 pay-per-view, I'm using the old term, PPVs, the pay-per-view. I went back and forward on these because I just had to eliminate one into honourable mentions based on the rest of the card. So I can see him pointing to his watch. Don't worry. It's going to be very, very quick. This is my honourable mention because of the main event, and it is Judgment Day 2000. Now, for you, Ross, Judgment Day 2000, the main event was Triple H with Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Shane McMahon against The Rock in a 60-minute Iron Man match, to which Triple H won 6-5. It was hell. It was chaos. You'll have a bit of chaos. So
that sounds great.
My honourable mention. I couldn't put it as one of my top 3 because we did have Shane McMahon versus Big Show on the card, so I just couldn't put it in one of my top 3. But for me, the main event was incredible. So it goes into my honourable mention.
Saunders, give us your honourable mention.
So I actually did look at Judgment Day 2000, and it's probably made the top 10 for me anyway, so I will admit that's a decent shout. I'm looking at that. Look at the one I've picked. I actually had this as number 2 until an hour ago. I think it bumped down for a very, very good reason, which we'll cover when we come to it. I have picked Extreme Rules 2011 because I feel like Christian finally literally climbing the ladder, winning the World Heavyweight title after, at that point, 20 plus years close to 20 years in the business, but 15 plus years in the WWE. It's just one of the moments that was earned and deserved, and also it took the title off Alberto Del Rio, who was an extremely underwhelming world champion for me. So the rest of the card doesn't really good. The main event was a triple threat steel cage match. John Cena defeated champion The Miz and John Morrison by pinfall for the WWE title. But
I vaguely remember that, actually.
I'm taking it for Christian's moment, and that's why I've picked Judgment Day 2011. But I don't want a judgment from you on the honourable mentions unless
that's okay.
You think it's a tie at the end for some reason because it's you. You're probably okay doing that.
Not a bad shout, to be fair. It really isn't a bad shout.
It is one moment though, and I did admit that the rest of the card probably doesn't read that great.
Okay, now that the honourable mentions have been delivered, we are now going to enter the main segment of the show. Both competitors have 2 minutes on their clock, and yes, I will be counting to deliver their remarks. And if they are still talking when my alarm goes off, they will be cut off unceremoniously. So
I will go full Slim Shady in 8 Mile, and I will go past the clock.
I won that half this time. That was at least 6 seconds.
Now, children,
Do you know what happens?
settle down.
Do you know what happens, Saunders? Do you know what happens when you try and take my time away from me?
Because we started with Darren's
Bear with
honourable
me.
mentions, Saunders,
Here we
you'll
go,
be
here
up
we go,
first
here we go,
for
getting
your
ready.
third place in your list, and your timer
Hey.
starts now.
I don't need 2 minutes. I think we know where we're going with this. Oh, I think we know where we're going with this. This is a pay-per-view from 2000. This is a pay-per-view that Match 6 actually had a tag team title match featuring Road Dogg and 1K Quick, a.k.a. Ron the Truth Killings. 25 years ago, I want that pointed out. But I've picked this pay-per-view purely for the main event. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Have you ever heard of a structure made of steel with a roof and 6 people inside of it?
That sounds familiar.
I, of course, have picked Armageddon 2000, 6-man Hell in a Cell for the WWF Championship. This was one of the feuds that was culminating of the Triple H being dropped. Triple H being run over and Stone Cold being dropped. No, other way, but Triple H being dropped from the fucking crane thing and Stone Cold being run over, and for some reason it was Rikishi that done it. Who knows why? Because he was The Rock's cousin. I don't know. You had Kurt Angle defeating The Rock, Rikishi, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker, inside Hell in a Cell. Rikishi, fine, but the other 5 guys are very possibly 5 of the 10 best to ever do it. It was absolute chaos. Rikishi was chokeslammed for the top of the cell onto the back of a wagon thing covered in hay to try and protect his fall, but he's a big lad, the hay didn't do anything. The cell door was ripped off by Vince because he wanted the cell pulled down because he was, the storyline being he was so raging that Mick Foley had booked as his commissioner because he literally booked $1 billion worth of talent, and it was his business. Like, if all these guys get injured, his business was going to die, which from a storyline perspective I think makes a lot of sense. He's protecting his interests. The match has been booked by Mick Foley, who is who at that point was the Hell in a Cell guy. The rest of the card, some good matches on it, not gonna lie, but main event only, 6 men, Hell in a Cell, complete chaos. Rikishi chokeslam by Undertaker off the top of the cell.
And your time is up. You did it. For someone who claimed that he did not need 2 minutes, he sure used his 2 minutes. Okay, I like that pitch.
By the way, do you know what's a shame? I'm going to let you finish because the main event of that card is great. When you go.
No, that's what I was only going to say. Just to say, Kurt Angle just rolls over at the end on his thinking of The Rock's lifeless body. 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
That sounds.
It was a good main event, to be fair.
A solid pay-per-view PLE choice for third place, Darren. Your timer starts now.
Right, okay. I have gone for No Way Out 2001. Very briefly, opened the show. Rikishi defeated Matt Hardy by DQ. Who really cares? Big Show defeated Raven for the WWF Hardcore Championship. We've spoken about it before, how important that title was back in the day. Fatal 4-way for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Chris Jericho defeated Eddie Guerrero, X-Pac and Redacted, because we're not allowed to talk about Chris Benoit. Stephanie McMahon-Helmsley defeated Trish Stratus in a singles match. I'll come back to match 5 because it should have main evented the show. Steven Richards with Ivory defeated Jerry the King Lawler. P-break, toilet break, who cares? However, second last match on the card, Dudley Boyz defeated the Brothers of Destruction and Edge and Christian in a triple threat tables tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championship. 12 minutes, absolute chaos. Loved it. Main event, 16 minutes. The Rock defeated Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship. Match number 5 should have main evented. This is honestly one of the best matches I've ever watched. Triple H defeated Stone Cold 2-1 in a 3 stages of hell match. First match was a singles match won by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Second was a street fight won by Triple H, and Fall 3 was a steel cage match which was run by Triple H. Incredible showing for both of them. It went just shy of 40 minutes, 39 minutes 26 seconds. Honestly, I cannot believe they followed it with Steven Richards and Jerry the King Lawler. It was an absolute travesty that was allowed to happen. But No Way Out 2001 just shows how strong my list is, that it only makes number 3.
I wish I was second. I wish I'd went second.
20 seconds spare, so well done, Darren. So, again, very quickly for those at home, just give the quick titles of both of your PLEs. Saunders, what was your pick for number 3?
It was Armageddon 2000.
Armageddon 2000. Darren?
No Way Out 2001.
We're 2 months apart, by the way.
2 months
Yeah, they
apart.
were.
This is the thing. That's how good that era was.
Two very strong showings for number 3. As much as I love The Rock. You guys know that I am actually, maybe not Final Boss Rock, but do quite enjoy a little bit of The Rock myself. I think that you pair of you went into this knowing that if you mentioned the word chaos once or twice, you would prick my ears up and get my attention. So kudos. You're trying to play the game and trying to play the game right. However, it's a tough one for me, but I think I'm going to have to go with Saunders' pick for that one, purely because you accidentally mentioned it was a pee break twice. So you just took a little bit edge off of that one match. But I'm going to write these down.
Oh, I mean, it was Stephen Richards versus Jerry Lawler. What the fuck do you want me to say?
I would just like to point out that Armageddon 2000, no, it wasn't Armageddon 2000, it was Extreme Rules 2011, had Michael Cole and Jack Swagger versus Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross in a country whipping match. That's why I didn't mention anything but main events when I was talking about my show.
Which is fair enough. But no,
I'm going to play a judge.
A very solid start, a very solid showing from two gentlemen here. So that is our third
There's
pick.
no way he beats out number 2.
Well,
see, the number 2's your winning anyway because you're going to want to go decider.
Well, we are now going to the second pick. My timer has been reset. Darren, you will go first with the number 2 pick. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay, this is not a repeat. No Way Out 2004 takes number 2 slot for me. We open the show. Akio Sakoda and Tajiri defeated Billy Kidman, Paul London, and Ultimo Dragon in a 6-man tag match. Match 2, Too Cool, Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty defeated the Basham Brothers and Shuniqua in a handicap tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Jamie Noble defeated Nydia by submission. The world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Shelley Haas, which were superb. Defeated the APA, Brad John Farouk, probably not a crossover you would have expected. Hardcore Holly defeated Rhino. Chavo Guerrero defeated Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title. It went 17 minutes. It was fucking fantastic. Match number 7, Kurt Angle defeated John Cena and Big Show by submission to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 20. What a show that was for them, especially Big Show, to be in the ring with two guys like that at the peak of their career. Main event. Good luck beating this, Saunders. Eddie Guerrero goes over Brock Lesnar to win his WWE title. I could go on endlessly, built up by the amazing promo between the two and the build up to this, and it was booked to perfection. Half an hour it went. Eddie goes over. Fucking cue mass chaos in the celebrations, in the crowd and everything. I can say no more.
You know, I want to say one thing before we do move on. There is a theme with the pay-per-view picks here because, well, we'll discuss it at the end. That's what I'll say.
Okay, so Darren has gave his pick. Saunders, your 2 minutes starts now.
I've thrown. We can skip to number 1 picks if we want just now. I have went for New Year's Revolution 2006. Daz and I discussed this, I think, last week or the week before on the podcast. And I've went for the main event because it was an Elimination Chamber match. John Cena defeats Carlito, Chris Masters, Shawn Michaels, Kane and Kurt Angle. But Edge then comes out, spears John Cena 3 times and cashes in Money in the Bank. I think it's not going to be Eddie going over Brock, and I'm not going to even try and dispute that. It just isn't. It's a historical moment. But this established what Money in the Bank could be. Also, I think, has shown the issue with Money in the Bank, that why would you then not ever cash it in a real match? Interestingly enough, the one of the few times it was done was RVD, and I did have that on my list as I was looking through this. But I've picked it because of that. Not only did it establish what Money in the Bank could be, Edge get 3 weeks with the title, turned himself into this megastar, almost changed the Mania main event plans, which just do not happen, and then became multi-time champion that year, and then obviously the 11-time champion overall. It made him who he was as a character. So I think it's one of the very few pay-per-views where the right guy retains in the Elimination Chamber, you protect your big asset, you establish Money in the Bank as this really credible tool to win a world title, and you then take a guy from the mid-card and make him a world champion and undeniable. So because of the way I've talked about WrestleMania on this podcast, it just fits what I look for in that type of using of a tool, whether it's King of the Ring, Money in the Bank. So for me, New Year's Revolution 2006, it's just such a pivotal main event. But Eddie going over Brock wins.
I don't hate it. Actually, I don't hate it. It's a great shout.
Both sound good. I, again, not entirely sure I'm too familiar with them. That's not that surprising. But
what you've see next week's pod, we're just going to watch Eddie versus Brock on the screen, and we'll blur it for the crowd. But that's incredible.
We will write these down and we'll get there. If only we had the WWE.
I'm worried you're now not going to appreciate Eddie's moment. I'm now concerned that you're not going to appreciate that moment. But
we will get to that.
By seeing it through.
In due course, we will get there. If the WWE Network was here, it'd be different. But okay, number 2 picks then was it No Way Out 2004, New Year's Revolution 2006.
Right.
And I think the pair of you do a pretty good job of selling these, but I think I have to agree that I think I'd actually prefer to watch Darren. So number 2 is No Way Out 2004, which quite handily has kept everyone at home listening, because we're going to go into a tie-break situation where we are going to go for the number one.
What's the anticlimax? I'm going to pick the same fucking PLE.
I'll volunteer to go first.
Well, there we go. I think that's only fair. If he's going to volunteer, if you're happy for him to go first, Darren, then we can let him go first.
So the reason
I'm happy for him to go first.
Okay.
Make sure. Hold on. Let the man start his timer.
Yeah. Well, 2 minutes, Saunders, for your number 1 pick of best non-Big 4 PLE stroke PPV of all time starts now.
So the reason that I said with a real theme going here is that obviously I picked New Year's Revolution, which had an Elimination Chamber match. I have then also picked a No Way Out PLE for my number 1, and it's No Way Out 2009. Now, the one thing I have complained about so far on this week's pod that we've just recorded, and also previous pods, is that we start looking at Mania main events months in advance. Mm-hmm. No Way Out just happens to be, or traditionally was the last stop before Mania, and chaos ensued at No Way Out 2009. Edge walks in to the pay-per-view as the WWE champion. Match number 1 of the night is the first person eliminated as Triple H takes the WWE championship into WrestleMania. He then spends the next 2 hours greeting, raging, going backstage, going mental, fighting, wondering how he gets back on the Mania card. Sadly, his route back onto the Mania card is in the main event. He attacks Kofi Kingston making his entrance. He steals pod number 4 and jumps into the final Elimination Chamber match, where he outlasts Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Kane, and for some fucking reason Mike Knox, and wins the World Heavyweight Championship, which then leads to an epic triple threat at WrestleMania where John Cena picks up him and Big Show at the same time and tries to F5 them. For me, it's the chaos, and it's the fact that it was shown that you don't have to book your champions 6 months out from WrestleMania. You can throw something together the month before, and it's just fucking brilliant. We also got Triple H versus Randy Orton, because Randy Orton won the Rumble in some sort of stupendous match that just concluded their feud where Randy Orton was punting people for fun. So, No Way Out 2009, Edge walks in, turns the WWE title into the World Heavyweight title. Some say, like Jesus turned water into wine.
And with 6 seconds
you might say.
So, okay, so No Way Out 2009, the case has been made for the number 1 slot. Darren, I am going to reset my timer, and your 2 minutes for your choice starts now.
My number 1 pick is the last of its kind, and whilst it potentially in some eyes doesn't have a match as good as that main event for Saunders, I went for ECW One Night Stand 2006. Now, I don't know if you've watched it, Ross. This was the newer version of the Monday Night War. ECW versus Raw. It was incredible. Rey Mysterio versus Sabu ended in a no contest because Sabu almost killed himself. Edge,
like Sabu.
Mick Foley, and Lita defeated Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, and Beulah McGillicuddy in an 18-minute hardcore match. This thing was fucking insane. Bearing in mind, Terry Funk was about fucking 65 back then. But the main event, Saunders alluded to it when he spoke about it. This was Rob Van Dam's Money in the Bank cash-in. It was booked in advance for the main event of ECW One Night Stand. Never have I heard a crowd this hostile. You've probably seen the sign. As Cena wins, we riot. Cena walks in to that little building that Paul Heyman talks about. holding the title above his head has been fucking pelted by fruit and fucking all sorts. And what a show this was. It was the swan song for ECW, the last PLE with its initializing on it. There was no more ECW, it was all WWE brands beyond that point. RVD goes over, and my God, what a pop. I mean, like, I cannot describe how incredible this moment is without. I'm going to watch it after the pod. It was that fucking good. But for me, I think that it's so funny that the two of us have brought this up. But it's the best, aside from the Heist of the Century, it's the best cash in because just the gravitas of the moment for ECW to get over on the Fed is fucking incredible. Obviously, it didn't play like that in the end. But no, Cena versus Rob Van Dam's an all-time classic for me. And
your time is also up. So there you go.
It's actually mental how much John Cena and Edge has appeared in.
It is, isn't it? I like that. There's a level of continuity actually across both the picks that
I'd also like to point out that I did leave out a 15-minute Kurt Angle versus Randy Orton match because Kurt Angle was part of ECW at the time.
Oh yeah, he would have been actually. Okay. The cases have been made.
I want that off the record.
Listen, he was talking about main events and WrestleMania and all that, and how's come on the fuck?
That's in my 2 minutes.
It also wasn't he part of the PLE?
No, children.
I'm just using fluffer to try and build a case. I'm sick of it.
So we have then our number one picks were No Way Out 2009 versus ECW's One Night Stand of 2006. Now, this one I think is genuinely kind of tough because I have some sort of vague recollection in the back of my head of ECW 2006. That there's something in the back of my head that's ringing a bell around that, but like can't remember an awful lot. Which one would I prefer to watch? Is a tricky one. I think no matter which one I pick, someone in the comments is going to be upset at me, which is kind of what I want in a way. So I would love it. You know, actually, wish I'd had a coin on my desk so that I could let fate decide. I think I am going to give it by a sliver to No Way Out 2009. I think that's the one that probably takes it from me, but I am like you, Darren. I kind of want to go watch yours as well. So I have written these down. We will put these all in the show notes for people to chat about at the leisure, no doubt. But yes, the initial winner we'll just go for a regular 1-2-3 pin on this week's squash match is Saunders. Congratulations, you can lift your belt high, which you have yet to purchase from Forgotten Worlds, but we should get a belt for this, actually. Well, in time. But no.
I think what's really interesting is that hopefully this segment, as it comes out in the next few weeks, will be something that helps the audience get to know us as wrestling fans a bit better, because what's really interesting there is that Daz went really heavy on the moments, and I went quite heavy on the storytelling tool aspect.
I like that. None of gave me something to think of,
which is going to be really interesting. So, I want to go and watch Eddie Guerrero win the world title again.
Honestly, I'm going to go and watch these 3 PLEs in the next couple of days.
That's a fucking lie. I'm going to go and edit the actual podcast and get it out.
Speaking of the actual podcast, if you haven't listened to it, go check it out. It dropped on Wednesday, and it will drop every Wednesday. But I did ask at the end of the podcast, and I would like to ask again now. I will be on TikTok every Monday looking for suggestions for these end segments so that Saunders and I, or Ross and Saunders, or all 3 of us can chew the fat basically over nostalgia, what makes us wrestling fans, and like Saunders says, help you get to know us a little bit better. We have a Buzzsprout, we have fan mail, stick suggestions in there, in the TikTok and the YouTube comments. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about, and then give us your thoughts on your favourite non-Big Four PLEs. But yes, it's First Blood to Saunders. Do you like that? First Blood. Do you like that?
And
I like it.
With that, we'll get this under 25 minutes. I will thank Ross for his mediation. I will thank Daz as a perfect sparring opponent for episode 1. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you Wednesday for the regular pod, and next Saturday for episode 2 of the Saturday Squash. Catch you in the next one.